Another day, another story. I know why we never returned to the moon, part 3. It wasn't long until I saw something in the distance. As we got closer, I realized that it was a spacecraft. Its design was different than ours and it was decorated with a flag of the Soviet Union. I couldn't explain why, but I felt that something was really odd about the spacecraft. If there really was Russians with us on the moon, they would have picked up our comms long ago, so there wasn't a point in hiding. To the unidentified Soviet lander, this is the crew of Dawnbreaker, please respond. We know you're here, we have you in sight. Nothing. We attempted to contact them several times again in both Russian and English, but always received only silence in response. We got closer and I realized why I found the spacecraft odd before. It looked like it had been there for a while. We didn't see much of the interior through the small windows, which had been covered with something from the inside. Our air is running low and I don't like this, Miller. We should really head back now, said Carver with clear uneasiness in his voice. I know, but we have to find out what's going on here. It took some time until we figured out a way to open the airlock. No one was home. The inside was a mess. The interior was splattered with brownish red fluid, presumably contents of one of the many open food packages lying on the floor. Or was it? No. I quickly pushed that thought out of my head. It was a two-seater craft. There was a small amount of leftover supplies and samples, but no signs of the satellite's black box. There was a spacesuit hanged on the wall near the airlock. 2 occupants, and 1 spacesuit with a clearly missing name tag. We both quickly realized that the other one must still be out there somewhere, along with its occupant. At this point, we were really low on oxygen, so we rushed to get back to our spacecraft. As we reached Karen with the last bits of oxygen in our suits, I realized something. Tell me, Carver, was it just me or did we not pass the wreckage on our way back? I asked. Fuck. Don't even mention it. It wasn't there, that's right. We shared our intriguing discovery with Ackerman later, and he was as surprised as was Command when he informed them in turn. That night I took watch for the first 4 hours. It wasn't really a night, since the sun was still shining, but for the sake of timekeeping, we referred to the time when we slept as night. When it was finally my turn to sleep, I had a dream about following the flash that I saw the previous day. I walked on and on, until I found the same space suit from the Russian craft just lying there, in the dust. The limbs were twisted and contorted in gruesome ways, but it was clear that someone, or something was inside that suit. I approached and slowly began opening the sunshield that obscured the inside of the helmet. I looked in terror, as I saw the inside. It was my face, covered with brownish red blood. In place of eyes, there were only 2 gaping holes. The next day we started picking up something on an unused channel of our radio. It was a faint signal coming from somewhere in the crater. We tried to patch it to the speakers, but it didn't make any sense. It was just a repeating sound resembling a person vocalizing the sound of a single letter or vowel but stretched to about 3 seconds followed by equally long pause. It was very distorted, and it clearly wasn't a loop, since each sound was just slightly different than the previous one. We ate, and once again prepared for moonwalk. It was darker than the other day. The sun was still shining, but it was steadily creeping its way under the horizon. We followed the source of the signal for about an hour when we found something lying in the dust in front of us. I tensed as I looked closer and found out what it was. Thank you for watching.